I was only a couple months into the role, and as like typically happens at early stage companies, there was a huge fire, and that fire was we would run an annual survey of our hacker community about their satisfaction and like time spent hacking on the platform and things like that. And we saw a 40% drop in satisfaction from the previous year. Like the core value of our product, like we provided a platform and a marketplace to connect companies and hackers, but the core value was the vulnerabilities that these hackers are providing. So if hackers were not hacking, this is an existential threat to the company. So everyone's freaking out about this. And as the only product manager at the company, the founders and executives say, hey, why don't you do some discovery and figure out what is going on here and what we should do about this. So I talked to a lot of our hackers across the spectrum, top hackers that have been on for a long time, new folks starting up, people that were just kind of casual, to get a sense of what was actually happening in their experience and driving this change of behavior. And doesn't always happen in this case. It became very clear immediately that we had a culprit for this behavior. And that was actually our customers. So specifically that customers were not being responsive when vulnerabilities were sent in. So they weren't triaging them quickly. They weren't paying them promptly. And this was really upsetting to the hackers. We did a lot of thinking on this and felt that we really needed to be strict here. This was like a big risk to the company, and we needed to establish really clear service level agreements and timelines for companies to like interact in these various ways, or else we were going to lose the core part of our product. So we kind of spec'd all that out, and then we said, hey, we actually need to go even further, like showing publicly, shaming them, incentivizing them, nudging them in the right direction is good. But if they're really not meeting these standards, we need to go to the next level and actually like pause their ability to receive new vulnerabilities through the platform. This was all like pretty controversial, I would say. But we felt really strongly, and it was a small company and engineers were moving fast. We would demo everything that we were building, releasing to the company in the Friday all hands. And our head of sales and head of marketing, head of CS, they were really freaked out by this. They were not happy. They're like, how are we going to pitch this to customers? They are going to be upset that we're portraying them in a negative light to the hackers. We countered and said, like, if we don't fix this problem, we have no company, we have no customers. Like, we need to take drastic action. So I really kind of pooled their goodwill, help to say, hey, let's try this out. Like, if we don't see the change in the metrics that we want to see with customers, if it's too problematic, like we can always shift course and turn those off. But so we did that a couple of weeks later, and some of the sales executives who rang the alarm and CS folks were actually right. Like, customers were not thrilled by this experience. And I had to get on dozens of calls with some of our big customers and explain why we did this, why it was actually going to be beneficial for them in the long term. But folks generally understood why we were doing this after we explained it. And we ended up keeping the feature on for every customer. We did not turn it off for anyone, which I feel very proud of. And we saw the results pretty quickly that we were looking to achieve, or to like turn around the trend that we were seeing. So we did end up pausing a handful of customers in the first couple of months. But after 3 months, 98 to 99% of our customers were meeting our baseline SLAs. And we reduced the response times and the payment times by 50% across the platform after 3 months. And that survey the next year, hackers were like very happy